I'm Troy Anstein. I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska, and I'm about to marry the love of my life.
And I'm Amanda Armstrong. I'm from Elkhorn, Nebraska, and I finally gave in to Troy's persistence.
She wanted it. So I was on my way home from Sam's bachelor party, and I called my mom and I said, you know, I want to marry Amanda. You know, what would be a good way to do it? Is basically what I said. She didn't really have a say. I just said, I'm going to do it. How should I do it? And we thought of Table Rock Lake. It's always been a special place for our family, and we have a cabin there now, and she thought it would be an awesome idea. You know, family would be around. So I lined up Amanda's parents to be able to come down to Table Rock and meet us the night I proposed.
For like a couple months before, Troy's mom was talking about how excited she was for me to go down to Table Rock that summer. And she specifically talked about these floaties that were only for the girls, and they'd keep your feet out of the water so the fish wouldn't bite at your feet. And so she was so excited about these floaties.
I remember going out on the lake and spending the day with our family, and I was planning on doing it around 4:30, 5 o'clock, kind of as the sun was starting to go down. But I was so antsy and nervous and just wanted to get it over with. So I think we went into the dock around 1 or so, and we had planned all along. My mom said that she was gonna, you know, pretend she forgot floaties, go back up to the cabin, get them, and during that time I was gonna take Amanda to the cliff and ask her to marry me.
His mom was all of a sudden like, I forgot the floaties, we have to go back to the dock. Well, I was thinking, how in the heck did she forget these floaties? Because she's been talking about them for months. So Troy and I dropped Troy's mom and dad off at the dock, and we kind of pulled away and pulled over by some cliffs.
I had put her ring, or my dad had put her ring in a koozie and thrown it in the glove box, and he thought that was a great hiding spot. I didn't, because Amanda's iPod was in there, and Amanda loves playing Amanda's music.
I got in the passenger seat and I wanted to play with my iPod a little bit and play some music that I had downloaded. I made a special mix for the trip.
So Amanda as soon as my mom and dad leave, Amanda gets up in that passenger seat and just starts dinking around with the iPod, playing her music and just basically pushing the koozie to the left and right, and I was freaking out. So I slammed the glove box, told her to go look for a docking flag at the front of the boat, and she hadn't been boating a ton in her life. There's no such thing as a docking flag, so I basically sent her on a chase that she was never going to, you know, find.
Well, I had no idea that there was no such thing as a docking flag, so here I am, you know, trying to stand in a boat that is rocking like crazy and lifting up the cushions, and I finally get the cushions off and I look in and there's nothing in there.
And that's kind of when it all hit me, that this was really happening, and I was gonna ask Amanda to marry me.
I turn back around and I'm like, Troy, there is no docking flag in here. And I turn around and he's down on a knee and he's holding a box with a ring. And all I did was I just put my hands up to my face, and I couldn't say anything, and I just kind of started crying. And everybody who knows Troy knows that he is the best talker, you know, and he's never been at a loss for words, and I've never seen him so nervous or not be able to talk like he normally can.
I remember never stuttering that much in my life. I remember not being near as bad at talking, and I asked her, I remember saying, will you marry me? And her crying and saying yes and just hugging me, and then, you know, went back to the dock. My mom and dad just smiled ear to ear.
The fact that Troy invited my parents was probably the most special part of all of it, because it really meant a lot to my parents and to me that they were included in something so important, you know, something that started the rest of our life. You know, it was the first step in the rest of our life together, and it meant a lot that they were both there.
I think it just kind of was the topping on the cake, or the icing on the cake, that they were there, and you know, I wanted my brother to be there and my sister, and it just didn't work out that way, but it's, you know, it was very special to have both parents there and be supportive. We all made a toast that night, talked about the good memories to come and, you know, different things like that, so it was a lot of fun.
It was a blessing that our families could get along so well, because I know a lot of people don't always have that, so we're lucky.
Yeah, we are very lucky.